3.
Who's ready for a teabag?
Double kill.
Fucking noob.
Kill-tacular.
GG, boys. GG.
Welcome in, you noobs,
Goddamn noobs.
to first-person shooter at random.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome to Fandom at Random. I am Ed. That is Brian.
Hi.
We are back again. And Brian, it is episode 131
Holy shit, man.
of Fandom at Random.
Goddamn. I can't believe we've been going this long. It's been an unbelievable ride.
We're on our way to episode 1,000.
Damn,
Little by
dude.
little.
Yeah.
We need to do something crazy at episode 1,000.
I know.
gotta be
Maybe
nuts.
a 1,000 countdown.
Oh, man.
24-hour stream. Something wild.
Well,
Naked wrestling. What?
we hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I know I did. I ate and drank way too much.
Yes, me too. Actually, I hosted in my small one-bedroom apartment, which was successful. But afterwards, I didn't have the energy to even put down more alcohol. So
No, it's not small. It's quaint.
it's quaint. Yeah, it is quaint.
So we are already heading into December, which is, this year's been a blur. 2021 has been a blur. I mean, obviously, the past couple of years have been just insanity with what's been going on with this worldwide pandemic bullshit and how it impacted fandom and pop culture in so many different ways.
Right.
But, I mean, with December comes the end of the year, and that comes the Fandies.
The Fandies.
And if you've been following us, you know last year, end of the year, it's pretty much our Oscars.
Yeah.
We go through all of pop culture, all of fandom, movies, television. We go through it all. We give out our Fandy awards and some of the best and some of the worst, unfortunately.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Go to fandomatrandom.com. Like, follow, watch. You know the drill.
It's an event. We'll have to start doing themes for like the Fandy Awards. Just like all other award shows, we'll have themes
We should.
like the Roaring 20s or the Bareback Boys.
The Bareback Boys.
Something just to make it fun.
Oh, it's got to be fun. It's got to be
know?
fun. Brian, so last week you took it solo, my friend, but
did.
you weren't alone. Who was on with you?
Less Geek / She Needs a Priest. It was a great interview. She has TikTok, Instagram, everything you can think of. Check it out if you haven't. It was on YouTube. It's a really good interview. We talked about Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, and a lot of other horror-based shit. And honestly, she's a cool girl. And we had a blast. And the video, I think, came out good. First interview, so it was... I think it was as much of a success as it could have been.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. She seemed like a
thank
great
you.
guest, very knowledgeable. So
Yeah.
hopefully down the road, Less Geek, definitely come back on. Hopefully I can join you next time. Maybe we can talk about The Ring,
Maybe.
the movie that broke me.
I was going to say, because it was fun talking with somebody about horror on a microphone.
Hey, I can do classic horror before I was broken.
I hear. Yeah, we can do horror before 2006 or whenever that came out.
But we have a video game-centric podcast for you all today. We've done a bunch of random
Yeah.
reviews in a row. We wanted to break it up a little bit,
It's
and
that time of year, dude. Everything's coming out. Holidays are coming up. Most of the people I'm sure watching have kids, or at least some of them. What are you going to buy your kids? Which game is looking good? Which one is looking good to us? You can find out right here.
yeah, and that's why we're going to get right into it here and talk about what games we're going to be covering today. So without further ado, let's get into our fandom focus of the week.
Oh, dude.
And if the killing sprees and kill-taculars and all that crap weren't enough of a giveaway,
Yeah.
we are doing a first-person shooter showdown. And it's gonna be a three-way. You know how we like it here on Fandom at Random.
3 ways. Sponsored by Pornhub.
Thank you. Yeah, we haven't thrown Pornhub, favorite sponsor.
Yeah, the big three. I call them the big three because I think personally they're the big three in the shooter genre.
Yeah, and if you're talking this holiday season and you're talking straight-up first-person arena shooters, there really are three that come to mind that stand above the rest.
Yeah.
Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty Vanguard, and Halo Infinite.
Infinity Beyond.
So And I will quickly mention on the Halo Infinite end, I'm going to be doing a full random review of that on another week or two when the full game drops. All of these games, we're more so going to be talking about the multiplayer.
Yeah.
We might dip into the single player a tad, but it's more going to be basing the multiplayer portion of these games,
yeah, because Halo is only available in multiplayer right now. Battlefield is an only multiplayer game. Vanguard has a campaign, but that's old news these days. So, yeah strictly multiplayer.
So I do want to, before we actually get into breaking these games down a little bit, giving our thoughts on it and what really fandom has thought about these games.
Yeah.
There's one common issue, Brian, right now that I'm seeing with the first game we're going to talk about, which I feel like a lot of developers, especially during the pandemic, really became kind of complacent in launching unfinished games.
Lazy.
And they can do that now because they know that all of these consoles, all of these PCs, they're always connected to the internet.
Yeah.
And when it's always connected, when it's always online, they can patch it post-release, which we're seeing more and more and more with video games. And it sucks because they're not releasing finished content.
There's not a lot of shit they can't do from over the wire. And the problem is, for some reason, the gaming industry, we as consumers have become complacent as well, because any other industry, if you release an unfinished product and fix it over time, that's not going to jive. You're not going to buy a car missing the wheels, own it for 6 weeks, and wait for them to send you an update on wheels.
That's a great analogy.
But in the gaming industry, that's where we're at. Release the game however it is, as long as it's on the deadline, and then update it because, hey, No Man's Sky did it. They made their game better, so why can't we? Or, Cyberpunk or Fallout.
Cyberpunk still ain't better.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not even getting better. So just a few games that did the same thing. It's turning into a pattern. We all had hope that some of these games, even on this list, might have avoided that, but...
So that's going to segue into the first game on this list. And again, we're kind of giving you our opinions here. Let us know in the comments what you think, if you've played any of these, or if you've played all of them or none of them.
Yeah.
Which ones you're most hyped or have been disappointed with. Or
if you want to play with me, diddle me. Send me your gamer tag. No, I'm just kidding. Or him your gamer tag.
Yeah,
for Halo,
we'll post our gamer tags in the comments as well if you do want to look us up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty easy to find on Xbox. Just look up Ed at Random.
There you go.
Ed space at space random.
I'm pretty much Mr. Manic on everything now. MISTR, not ER.
So. All right, let's talk about the first game here, Brian. Battlefield 2042, released by Electronic Arts. This game was hyped,
dude.
Insanely much.
Battlefield 4 was my last love of multiplayer. Like, I played hundreds and hundreds of hours in that game. And ever since then, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Battlefield Hardline, none of them interested me. And I've tried playing them. They just weren't for me. I don't like World War I games. World War II games are hit or miss. This looked like they were going back to what made 3 and 4 amazing. Even Bad Company 1 and 2. The hype was real. The trailer they released at first was top-notch. And then the game released. And no, the beta released. I'm sorry.
It was more of an alpha than a beta.
Yeah, I had pre-ordered to get the beta. I bought the $120 Ultimate Edition because I was so invested in this game. But wait, there's more. After playing the beta, they said this was 3 months old, that they didn't release a new version for the beta, which was bullshit. Just an excuse. After I played the beta for a day, I canceled my pre-order, got refunded right away, because I knew that even the bugs and everything else at the core of this game, there was something wrong with it. And then they released the full game, and...
Which very quickly, not to cut you off, ladies and gentlemen, if we can give you one tip during this, never pre-order a game.
You do not need to do it anymore.
You don't.
They don't run out of stock. You can buy digital. There's no... except for the bonuses, which are always stuff they release after a while anyway.
Yeah, so never pre-order a game.
Unless it's from like an indie developer that you know is putting their heart and soul into a game or something like that. But even then, just pre-ordering sets a bad precedent, and it's led to shit like this.
Yeah, but please continue.
So the game released. You got it a week ahead of time if you pre-ordered the special edition. I had EA Pass, so I had a 10-hour trial when it released early. Anyway, it doesn't. To sum it up, like I heard online, it feels like they were building a battle royale game, saw Warzone came out, realized they could never compete, and then tried to build on top of that to make some kind of game.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, there's 2 game modes, Conquest and Breakthrough. No team deathmatch, no domination, no search and destroy, none of the good shit that Battlefield's known for conquest and big all-out wars. So
Oh, yeah.
that's fine. But, dude, you got to put in more than 2 game modes. Secondly, 22 fucking guns at launch. To put this in perspective, Battlefield 4 had 72 weapons at launch and then 168 by the time the game peaked. Like, now you got 3 weapons for each class. It makes no sense. And then the maps are horribly designed. If you're on next gen, 128 players is a terrible decision. It is so unbalanced. There's way too much dead space in the maps because they're so big and there's no vehicles available. You got to run through the desert for 10 minutes before getting in a gunfight. And not only that, it's supposed to be a post-apocalyptic world. All the cars are in pristine condition. The cities all look like they were just brand newly built. And nothing about the game feels fixed. I mean, feels finished. At all.
I've heard people complaining too, like the vehicles handle like shit.
The vehicles got better from
like
the beta,
floaty,
but they're nowhere near what they were for Battlefield. They're very floaty, and they don't give you a lot of options for controls, so you're dealing with what they give you. The gunplay was at first lasers, no recoil at all, and then they tweaked it. It was too much recoil, so they keep fucking around with that, and the destruction. So 3 things I think make Battlefield. Realism, as far as an arcade shooter can go. Realism is what they aim for, with the recoil.
Sure.
The aesthetic. Conquest and the large-scale war maps. And then destruction. Those are the 3 things that really separated it from Call of Duty. And the destruction is so fucking terrible in this one compared to Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, and Battlefield 5.
And it's so deceiving from the trailer that they launched and showed us with like shit blowing up everywhere and like the particle effects, everything else.
Some of the best fucking moments in Battlefield 4 were when you blew out a wall for a new route to flank an enemy, or when a storm came through and a tsunami flooded the city you're fighting in, and it's a whole new landscape after that. The only thing they did in this, they added a tornado and a sandstorm, both of which don't damage anything. The tornado will suck you up and throw you, but like it'll go over shit. It barely touches the city. You know what I mean? So I guess that was they kind of cut back on destruction for the weather effects, maybe.
Dumb move.
But overall, I could go on for literally 4 hours. There's a post on Reddit that lists everything that this game is missing.
You're not even mentioning like the frame rate issues,
right?
The extreme lag spikes, clipping through objects.
That's the thing. The bugs,
the stutter,
are like the least of the problems. That's how bad it is. When bugs like that are getting overlooked because there's more they need to figure out first, the game is on a fucking downfall. But yeah, frame rate drops, rubber banding. I literally play games sometimes where I can't switch my loadout for a half an hour. You're stuck with whatever loadout you have. That's it. And many other things. It's not as bad as the beta, but the bugs are still there. And I'll give them credit a little bit, even though I don't want to. They've done like 2 or 3 updates already, and they say they have a year-long
plan.
It's like, dude, there should be no plan for a full paid game.
I mean, it really, to me at this point, it's just, I don't know if it's greed, or if it's just nepotism. I don't know what it is, but just to go ahead and release these unfinished products, just to say, hey, don't worry, it's going to get better later on. And to me, it's like you need to launch the product at least in a playable state,
semi-playable,
and Battlefield was not.
No,
and I know their whole thing is, well, we got to get it out there. It's holiday season. We got to get the players in, and then we'll make it better over time. But I mean, people move on.
Well,
and I mean, very rarely does a game launch and it's this buggy and this shitty, and does it retain and grow the player base? There's only a handful of examples I can think of off the top of my head, Diablo 3 being one of them.
Right.
Diablo 3 launched, it was a mess.
Yeah.
And they actually ended up making it a really good game.
Yes.
Final Fantasy, what was it, 14 or 15? And then it became a Realm Reborn, the MMO-based one. That was another one that it launched. It wasn't that great. They re-released it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got some of the bones there.
Yeah. It has like bare bone, deep down, buried beneath everything. I think there's a solid game here. Maybe not the best Battlefield ever, but a good Battlefield. But there's so much shit that, like, even basic shit, there's no scoreboard. You don't know how many kills, how many deaths, or how many assists you got throughout the whole game, which completely takes away from the competitiveness.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that's like any competitive PvP-based game.
Yeah.
Like, that's like 101. Like,
right.
You're basing your skill level and off of your KD, your kill death ratio, and everything. And it's like,
and at the end of the game, even more battle royale evidence. It shows your squad. It says where your squad placed, number 1 through like 50 or whatever. And it says maybe, oh, you got 2 vehicle assists, and this player got 7 sniper kills, and this player got 5 captures. It's so random, you know. No chat, no game chat at all. Text. You can text chat on the game.
Oh, yeah, because everyone has time to text in a first-person shooter.
Right, yeah, no voice chat, period. They said it would be released at a later date, which fucking blows my mind, dude.
How is that even possible?
It's because I guess they were banking on the party chats on PS and Xbox, maybe? But, like, no, some of the fun is finding new players and playing games with them, hooking up with them, and getting and chatting with them, you know?
One thing I will say that Xbox needs to do, they need to buy Discord.
Yeah.
Just buy Discord, implement it on your console, and just be done with it. But
see, the PlayStation chat isn't bad at all, but when you're playing by yourself and you want to strategize, there's no way to do it. But just basic shit like that, you know? And then specialists. They added specialists just like Call of Duty did, and it's the complete opposite of what Battlefield was. You played a class. You had to play that class like you were in the class. A medic, an assault, support.
Sure.
You had to revive people or you had to repair vehicles. You don't have to do anything in this. You pick your specialist. You can have any gadget you want. You can do anything. There's no rhyme or reason to what you have to do as a specialist, which takes away from the team gameplay.
Defeats the purpose.
Yeah, and there's so many things. And then Portal could have been the saving grace. Portal is something, takes Bad Company 1, 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and 1942. You can take elements from all these games and build your own game mode. Could have been the saving grace of this game because I played some amazing games in Portal, but they took out progression. So you're not building your character in it. What the fuck am I going to play it for if I'm not advancing in the goddamn game?
Yeah,
it's
a bunch of decisions that you look at this, and again, it just comes down to, I mean, EA.
And I swear to God, I scratched the surface here. Like, there is so much more if you look it up. But let me put it this way. I do keep going back to it every night because I do have some fun moments, and I have hope for Battlefield because it's been my favorite shooter since a long time ago. If I had to rate it right now, I would be generous and give it a 5.5.
Wow.
Because there's still play there. And I returned my next-gen version and bought it on PS4 so I could play with 64 players, and it's a lot better.
So do you even have the option?
No.
On next-gen? You can't even, like, tick it down?
Nope. You're stuck on 128 players. You can't cross-play with older generations. And then PlayStation has 64 players. The maps are smaller, I'll say that, but I like that. The maps don't need to be that big. So it really reined it in a little bit for me, but even still, it's not nearly there. But if you're thinking of buying it, hold off another 6 months, I'd say. Even you don't need it for Christmas. Your kids will be pissed. You'll be pissed. It's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a couple other games here. I think that would be the superior choice
right.
to Battlefield. All right, you ready to move on from Battlefield?
I am.
All right, that was our first contender. Next one, I mean, just on name alone,
yeah,
I mean, this is the go-to staple yearly release. It has,
Of course.
you know, the little game that really took over the first-person shooter market way back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, really when Modern Warfare launched, that's when it really took off. But
absolutely.
Call of Duty Vanguard.
Call of Duty. There isn't a parent, kid, or person alive that doesn't know what Call of Duty is.
You know, this is the Madden of first-person shooters.
Right.
And that's not a compliment.
No, because it's copy and paste the formula every year, and people will buy it.
And this game, I mean, my kind of 2 cents right off the bat is it doesn't hold a candle to Warzone.
No.
It can't compete with Warzone.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I understand, like, I've dabbled a little bit in the campaign, and it is very fun. But at the same time, it's like, how many times can we go back to World War II?
Yeah, exactly. And they keep doing it. And I think they started this when people were asking for a World War II game. This was before Battlefield 5 came out. This was before a lot of shit, and people were actually asking for it, and then it came out at the wrong time because nobody is asking for World War II right now at all. The only positive is it seems to be technically superior in every way to Battlefield right now, as far as bugs, glitches.
100%. I mean, it launched as a much more stable game. And I mean, it did touch on, don't get me wrong, Call of Duty 2 is one of my favorite first-person shooters ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when you storm the beaches of Normandy and, like, again, classic throwback to that era, and they're going back to it in this, but I don't know, man.
Dude, so Black Ops 2 is my last favorite COD. I played that religiously, but after that, it all just started getting worse and worse and worse. Modern Warfare 2019 was a good revive for the game itself.
Yeah.
Then Warzone came out, and they have that formula perfected. So there's not much to fix, you know what I mean? But with World War II, it's just you're limited. They did a good job with attachments and progression and adding a ton of shit you would never think of, like tying ropes around your grips to make it a quick draw grip.
Interesting.
Or like adding metal wire to your sights to make it long. Just weird shit like that. You know what I mean? So they did a good job because normally a World War II game would have just the 4 guns available and like 3 sights, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny because like I've read and I've talked to some players that are diehard Call of Duty fans.
Yeah.
And one of the, I think, main draws or reasons that a lot of them ended up getting this and they're playing through it is because they're also hardcore Warzone players.
Yeah.
And that by playing this and progressing through it, you actually you can level up the weapons that are then, I guess they're going to be integrated into Warzone.
Yeah, which they did with Cold War as well.
So, I mean, you know, I'll give them this. They're smart in that respect. Like, if Warzone is going to continually be their, like, go-to arena shooter, and then they're going to have their yearly release with the single-player campaign plus some multiplayer aspect, and now you can entice players to buy and play this game to level up the weapons that will then be integrated into Warzone. I'll give them that. It's a smart business tactic, but at the end of the day, it still sucks.
I think it's a mess. When they started crossing over other games into Warzone, that's when I cut out. I don't like it. Other people do, but I don't. But they really do. They put a monopoly on the Battle Royale because Fortnite was the only one out there that was really dominating, and then Warzone came out.
I just don't get it. Like who's going to be using like an M16 A4 against like an M1 Grand?
That's
like,
what makes no sense. You got guns from modern times, Cold War era, like 80s-ish, and now World War II, the 40s.
Like you've got an automatic rifle coming at me, and I've got a musket. It's like hang on, let me put the pellet down the tube.
Makes no sense. This one is also wicked fast-paced. I thought it was going to slow down based on the World War II and the gear you're carrying. You know, you would think it would play a little slower, but it literally feels like one of the fastest playing Call of Duties that's come out in a long time, except for like Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, that type of shit. Some people like that, other people's don't. I don't. That's why I like Battlefield more. And, you know, spawns are a mess. There's a good amount of things to complain about. Number one, I'd say, is the player base, though.
Always is.
Dude, it's the tryhards. There's people who get so good at that game, you can in no way ever compete unless you're willing to spend 18 hours a day playing that game, you know?
While chugging Mountain Dew.
Yeah, chugging Mountain Dew.
Your Domino's pizza and your Doritos.
Overall, though, they launched a solid game. Props to Call of Duty because it's World War II. I thought it was going to shit the bed worse than it did, and it didn't.
What would you rank this one? So you
say,
gave Battlefield a 5.5.
Yeah, I'd say this one's at a 7.
So a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely not any of the top Call of Duties, but nowhere near the worst. So
okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a procedural annual launch, I mean, I guess that's all you can ask for.
Right. They didn't fix what wasn't broken, so at least they didn't take the Battlefield route on that one.
Well, speaking of fixing what was broken, let's get into our final game. And I'll probably kind of take the torch on this one.
Yes, sir.
Halo Infinite.
Dun, dun, dun.
The game that became infamous over a year ago with Craig.
Oh, God, right.
They had that launch video come out showing gameplay, and it was, we talked about it earlier where, Battlefield 2042 released as, in our opinion, an unfinished game. That's where Halo Infinite was a year ago.
Yeah.
Luckily, Microsoft and 343 Industries, they ended up listening to the player base, and they said, okay, you know what? We want to finish this. We want to make it good. They delayed the game an entire year.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer now, it shadow dropped here roughly 2 weeks ago, and the actual full game comes out, I think it's December 9th. I'd have to double check and vet that. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But the multiplayer has come out, and I have been playing it non-stop.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested because I've been hearing mixed things, but hearing from you that it was great, I'm interested.
Absolutely love it. And as Brian mentioned before, like, he hasn't played, at least competitively, like with PvP and shooters and stuff like that. Like, dude, I'm 36 years old. I'm a dad. I work full time. My gaming time is limited nowadays.
Yes, sir.
I'm not, like Brian said, some of these games you need to put all the time in to master. Back in the day, Halos 1 through 3, Combat Evolved, then Halo 2 especially, when Xbox Live, when the game ranking, that matchmaking, they really created that on console.
Yeah.
I played the ever-living shit out of Halo 2 and Halo 3, like, competitively.
Absolutely.
Like, I was, like, ranked, like, nationally and shit. I was really, really, really good at those games. Halo 4 came out. It was all right. It was kind of a step back. At that point, Bungie, it wasn't what it was anymore. 343 was taking over. Halo 5, same. It was kind of,
Yeah.
And then so on and so on. So, when they mentioned this game, because I only played the more recent releases in the last 5-6 years, just a little bit, because they haven't been that great. When Infinite got announced and I saw some of the gameplay, I was like, this looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll dip my toe back into Halo. Halo is back. Multiplayer, at least. Obviously, the campaign hasn't launched yet. But, I mean, dude, the gameplay is rock goddamn solid.
That's what people are saying.
Frame rates, balancing, just the way it moves, and it's just, there's so much polish already in this goddamn game.
Yeah.
I am beyond impressed what 343 was able to do with the multiplayer aspect. They took the nostalgia feel of Halos 1 through 3, and they spit shined it, and they put something new on it, and it's awesome. It is just terrific.
They did what a developer should do. They took the hit, delayed it, worked on the technical side of things, and released a game worth playing. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have its flaws.
I was going to get into that now,
and I'm sure you're going to get into it, but the only other thing I would bring up is I think they released it at the wrong time. But actually, you know what? I'll wait till we get to the summary at the end for that.
So, yeah, and I'll have a counter argument on that in a minute. But a couple of the weaknesses that people have complained about, and I've noticed a little bit. So one of my main gripes, there's no way to turn off crossplay.
Yeah.
So games that you go into, you could be playing against PC players, and the big issue right now is there have been a good amount of people that are playing with aimbots,
cheaters,
and different cheaters, exactly.
Cheaters.
And cheating. 343 said they're already working on it. They're gonna figure this out. The easiest way would be just to say, hey, have some kind of setting where if you're on console and you only want to play against other console players, make that happen.
I mean, I think even Battlefield has that.
Because I mean, anybody, I've already personally run into a couple cheaters. I know because every game that you play in Halo, which is another thing I like, you can go in the theater mode.
Yeah.
It saves everything in the cloud.
That's right.
You can go back and rewatch the entire match. You can go to any player and watch them play. There have been a couple that have been very apparent. I'm like, there is no goddamn way that they're making these shots consistently.
Like he Superman jumps from one end of the map to the next.
Yeah, but
I heard it's pretty ridiculous, like more than usual, but that's, they're working from a new standpoint with new multiplayer. That's understandable.
They'll figure it out.
There's no way to escape cheating. The only thing you can do is do your best to keep it to a minimum. I don't know of a PC game that has completely gotten rid of cheaters or hackers.
Yeah, so they're working on that, so that's fine. The Battle Pass, which I did already buy into, I spent up. I got the premium Battle Pass. I've been going through that. It's been cool, but progression is slow.
Yeah,
it is slow. The challenges they kind of are what they are, but I will say that a lot of them just happen kind of naturally. Yeah. I don't even really look at the challenges half the time. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to play and have fun.
That's how,
and when I unlock them, it's cool.
That's how Modern Warfare plays. Like, you're unlocking a lot of challenges just by doing your best playing the game.
But the whole thing with the game is kind of like Fortnite, it's all about aesthetics. Yeah. Like your armor, guns, like you can change the coloring, all the different, like there's rare, legendary, epic, like pieces you can get, armor cores, and the problem is some of the ones you unlock later, like it gets a little lackluster. So they're trying to address all of those things right now. They're already listening to feedback and making changes, but these are kind of like nitpicky things. But the bare bones is the gameplay, the maps, the guns, the everything is fantastic. And I've mainly been playing. They're running an event right now. I'm trying to think what it's called, but the main thing is called Fiesta Mode, which is a blast.
Yeah.
Every time you spawn with completely random starting in secondary weapon out of any weapon that's in the game.
Nice.
So you could start out with like a rocket launcher and like a battle rifle.
Yeah.
You could start out with 2 pistols. I mean, it could be shitty, but keeps it quick and interesting, drops you right into Slayer. The other thing is that's kind of shitty right now. There's no way to pick specific game modes.
Yeah, which seems like a weird decision to me, but
I'm thinking like, especially where it already I feel like this is almost a teaser to what the multiplayer is going to be.
Yeah.
And the game is coming out, and they said that they have a lot more plans to add all these features and functions over the next the coming months. So at the end of the day, the gameplay at its core is what matters. Now, and it is awesome. It's fun.
Something to take note of to build on top of the specific modes here. It doesn't play like Call of Duty, Battlefield, even Insurgency, or some of the smaller military shooters. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's no loadouts.
Correct.
There is... The gunplay is a lot different, and the mechanics are a lot different. So if
yes
you're going
no.
in expecting to build your loadouts to go into game with and unlock attachments for your loadouts and things like that, you're not going to get it, right?
Yeah, correct. This is much more. It puts everybody in a match on a level playing field.
Yeah,
and then it's about you. It's more so about your own personal skill level improving over time.
Yes.
And as you get more comfortable with the weapons, and mainly even more so comfortable with the maps, then where like the weapon points spawn.
Yeah.
And you get better at using them. And really it comes down to like tactics and using things to your advantage. But they did implement like a lot of things now. Like if you go back to the older Halos, Master Chief was a lot more like slow, clunky. It was more like jumping was floaty.
Oh, they added the
tether. Yeah. Oh, the grappling hook is badass, man. That is fantastic. But now you can full on. You can keep dashing.
Yeah.
You can jump and you can actually like grapple up to like, if you're coming to a ledge as you're running, he'll jump and grapple and he'll go right up and over.
Nice.
And one of my favorites now, if you're running and you dash and you hit the crouch button, he'll go into a tactical like slide.
Okay.
And while you're sliding, you can still be shooting. So
That's a popular mechanic these days. Yeah.
They added, movement wise,
yeah,
it's much more fluid than it's ever been.
And the loadouts and things like that's not to say that's a negative, because honestly, in some ways, it's a positive because it keeps things even more balanced than some of these military shooters. So. If you can deal with learning how to play, if you're like me and didn't really play Halo back in the day,
see, Halo was
and you got to get used to that a little bit, it's worth it for sure.
You're right though. If you were never a Halo player back in the day and you were more in the Call of Duty camp, even like Medal of Honor.
See, I didn't even get into multiplayer until I was in like my late teens, 20s. So. I was always a single player guy. So in Halo, even Call of Duty 1 and 2, I barely ever played those.
Yeah, I mean, Halo 2 was probably a big reason my grades in high school tanked badly.
But it definitely takes some getting used to. But like I said, worth it in the end,
But if I'm going to rank this, and again, I'm just ranking the multiplayer right now, I'm sitting at like a 9.5.
Wow.
I really am. I am beyond pleased with what they've done, and I think the little things they need to fix are just that. They're little things.
Well, yeah. They released a game that's worth the money, and then
it's free.
And I was going to say,
that is the best part.
On top of that, there's no charge. It's free. So not only is it free, but if it was costing money, enough is there to warrant paying for it, and then they're going to even out and add more of the extra shit. All the basic is there. That's what you need,
Yeah, and if you don't give a shit about like what your Spartan looks like, and you can still unlock a lot of the shit without getting the battle pass naturally, like to start out, like you don't have to drop a dime.
Yeah.
If you're listening right now and if you have a PC or if you have an Xbox console, you don't have to pay a penny. You can download the multiplayer. You can play free. It's going to be free forever, which is just amazing.
I mean, it is interesting because I've heard a lot of people disagree and say that they think it's shit. I think those are people who never played a Halo game in their life and are kind of stuck in the military shooter mindset. Then there's the other people who didn't play Halo but are open to it, and they're like, yeah, it's a good game. Then there's Halo fans who are like, holy shit, they've done everything right. This game is amazing.
Yeah, if you're going into it from a Call of Duty standpoint and you want that realistic, strategic military shooter, that's not what Halo is.
Yeah, you can't
Halo
looking for that.
Yeah, Halo is a futuristic shooter.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I kind of rambled on Halo a lot here, but I love it. I'm excited about it, and I will be reviewing probably later in December. I want to get a little bit of time into the multiplayer. Yeah. But I'm sorry, the single player.
So I'm going to review Battlefield too, so I'm going to make a YouTube review on that. But yeah, I rambled just as much on Battlefield. The one thing I think, so here's what I was going to say, is the one thing I think Halo's got right now. Unfortunately, I think it's being... So I scan all the medias, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all of it. And you kind of get a feel for what's popular and what's happening, you know what I mean? Halo pops up a lot, but I also think it's being buried by the negativity from Battlefield 2042 and the addition of Vanguard, a new Call of Duty. And it kind of is getting smushed in the middle. It's looking to break out. Like, people are giving it props. Streams are popping up. But it's still kind of like the meat in the sandwich that's looking to just get separated.
Yeah, and I think personally, I think this is because keep in mind, a lot of people that aren't hardcore into this like we are.
Yeah.
A lot of those people don't even realize the game's out yet.
Right.
Because they were looking at the old, like the release date. Yep. They may have already pre-ordered and they're waiting for it to come out.
Yeah.
So I think when the game officially comes out, I think it's due to explode.
Yeah.
And I think this was just a taste to get people into it. And I have to imagine Microsoft and 343 Industries, they're looking at the market right now where Battlefield was lackluster.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is just another Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And they're like, we've got something special here.
And when they explode that specialness, come and get a taste because it's going to be good. I was waiting to just call that out.
Shit.
So, in summary, I would say hold off on Battlefield for at least 4 months. If you can't wait, oh well. There's still shit to play. It's still good to have fun with every once in a while, but I would wait. When it comes to Call of Duty, I think we can both agree that if you're a Call of Duty fan, you're going to love it. If you're looking for something new and groundbreaking from the game, it's not going to do that for you. If you're looking for something the same, it's not worse, it's not bad, Call of Duty Vanguard's the way to go. And if you're looking for something new, polished, and ready to go, and doesn't cost a dime, Halo is where it's at.
Yeah, and that's why, again, if you have an Xbox or if you have a PC, you have nothing to lose by trying Halo Infinite.
Right.
Even if you've never played it before, if you're looking to get into a shooter, it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. Give it a try. You could download it, try a couple matches, say this isn't for me, but
that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
And, just to clarify, Battlefield is available on every platform, as well as Call of Duty. Halo is PC and Xbox.
Yep.
So, if you're looking to get it anywhere, that's where.
That's true.
Yep.
All right, randos. We hope you enjoy our first-person shooter showdown. We'll be back next week, as always, same time, same channel.
Same fandom randomness.
Let us know, too, if there are any other video game reviews or video game content you want to hear us talk about.
I'm up for it. I'm ready to do any reviews, so yeah, give us some ideas.
Yeah. All right, randos. We'll catch you later. Killing spree.
Later.